They're going to go quick. Trust me, you do not want to miss this show, the most patriotic show on television, award show America deserves. Thanks for watching. Special edition of Ingram Angle.
Goodness. Wow. Happy Wednesday, America. These people can whistle. Ooh, I feel so objectified. But it's great to be back. I want to thank Dana for subbing for me when I was out. I didn't even have to change the size on this booster seat. Anyway, once again, the Democrats have a wartime president. The problem is he's declared war not on drugs or poverty or even pumpkin spice lattes, but on other Americans. You, me, your parents, those freaks on Fox and Friends. But I guess there's bad in everything.
There's bad in everything. There's lousy senators, there's lousy presidents, there's lousy doctors, there's lousy lawyers.
Sounds like his administration. But, you know, maybe he used to be in the old days a pretty good athlete.
I used to be in the old days a pretty good athlete, and if someone's really big and tough, you say, I wouldn't screw with him if I had a sledgehammer.
Ah. Sounds like someone took a sledgehammer to his head. His sentences wander more than he does. What? Oh, did I go too far? But remember what used to be the criticism when Biden was running.
Remember what used to be the criticism of Biden when I was running? Biden's too bipartisan. Biden has too many Republican friends. Not a joke. What in God's name has happened to that?
Yeah, you know what happened to that? You happened to that. You muttering Magoo. You told a big fib. We were told you were going to unify us after evil orange Godzilla, and then you got in charge and you turned into AOC and extra large Depends. Turns out Joe's more divisive than a shop class table saw. But at least you don't keep demonizing those brave right-wing Americans.
For those brave right-wing Americans who say it's all about keeping America's independent and safe. If you want to fight against the country, you need an F-15. You need something a little more than a gun. No, I'm not joking. Think about this. Think about the rationale we use that's used to provide this. And who are they shooting at? Shooting at these guys behind me.
So he says he's not joking, which means he's stupid. Because nothing he said suggests he understands anything about America. Okay, supporters of the Second Amendment, good luck using that against a tactical fighter aircraft. Ah! Sorry, jackass. I'm sorry, Mr. President. Jackass. With that logic, we should give up all our rights because they're also no match for someone flying a bomber. The worst part is he thinks this is clever. He's like Jesse Waters when he discovers a new word. Have you ever noticed? He just says it over and over again and always in the wrong context. Look, the right to bear arms exists whether there are bombers or not. In fact, it's the Second Amendment that keeps us not from being bombed by Joe, but from being invaded by other countries. There's no way anyone could invade the United States. Didn't you see Red Dawn? We got 400 million guns, and that's just under Judge Janine's bed. It's true. Don't break into that place. But one small town would decimate the enemy, and why? Second Amendment. So you can have your F-15, but it's also our F-15. And fat chance you get any American pilot to bomb an American city. Besides, after what the Dems have done to our cities, bombing them seems kind of redundant. So Joe's delivering another speech tomorrow about the threat to democracy, which means they've already started defrosting him. But if he's talking about threats to democracy, it's not us, but it's also not him. The only thing he's a threat to is a pair of clean underwear. But obviously, it's his party's policies we have a problem with. We don't demonize the voters. We attack the policies. We make fun of him. Crime, inflation, Ukraine, the border, Afghanistan, student loan forgiveness, taxes. The Dems screw up on all these things, then demonize you for wanting to repair the damage. It's like Joy Behar being mad at the guys who fix broken mirrors. I like that one. But this pre-demonization is a form of self-defense, like spraying holy water at Nancy Pelosi. But this should bug you, because we were sold the wrong Joe. We were expecting Biden and got Stalin. He was going to bring us all together. Well, he half succeeded. He brought the right together like Michael Moore and a bowl of buttermilk. What gives, Joe?
No. I'm all about unity. I'm a unity guy. But what's the first letter of unity? U. That's the you do what I say. That's how it works, man. Come on. Did you ever try to put a Kevlar vest on a deer? That's no joke. Yeah. Tough guy with a gun. I got an F-15. I'm Top Gun. I'm Goose. I'm Iceman. The Iceman cometh. Global warming. It's no.
So perfect.
He's so amazing. I found a YouTube compilation of Tom Shalhoub as
Told
mine.
voters if
great.
you don't like him, you can vote for someone else. Now the people who listened are called fascists. His idea of a terror group are moms who attend school board meetings. Now remember, Trump never went after voters. He went after the press, of course, politicians, celebrities, real evil. He didn't see Americans as the enemy. Joe's different. With no solutions and a party paralyzed by wokeness, he must stoke fear against the other. He says we're moving toward semi-fascism, which sounds like semi-flaccid, something Dr. Jill has been praying for the last 30 years. Disgusting. Despicable. But if the Republicans are semi-fascist,
Dirty.
what does that make Joe? Remember the violence when Trump won? The riots in D.C.? Joe said nothing. Trump supporters getting attacked? Joe didn't say a thing. How about the riots that went on for months? Dozens died. Joe basically had to be forced to come out of a basement to say something. Remember the government coerced censorship? Or that Merrick Garland didn't stop the illegal protests outside the homes of Supreme Court justices even after the attempt on Brett Kavanaugh? But the Dems are busy mining one single day in history as proof that 70 million people extol political violence, because apparently being consistently violent is preferable to one day that's such an oddity that everyone condemned it. If only they were Dems, then Kamala would have bailed them out.
That was great.
Tonight's guests. This Ford gets me going from 0 to 60 with a raise of his eyebrow. Welcome to Criminal Hero Ford Jr.
Douche! No, he's cool. I don't know what's gotten into
He
him lately.
opens for comedian Rob Schneider, except when the door's too heavy. Actor, writer, and comedian Jamie Lissow. She's interviewed more sweaty men than Kevin Spacey. Host of the Sideline Sanity Podcast, Michelle Tafoya. And finally, look at that guy, huh? He's worked more overnights than a high school janitor. Chief breaking news correspondent, Trish Gallagher. Harold, let me guess what you're going to say. Great to be here. Glad to have you back from your vacation, but I see things differently. We talked about this, right? We talked about this just like hours ago on The Five, in which I destroyed you. Have you thought about it and decided to agree with me on everything I say?
I have a slightly different point of view. Look, first of all, welcome back. You were missed. Everybody enjoyed you. Everybody enjoyed being here. Look, I watched the stuff. I watched the stuff you had on Biden, and I remember. I've known him a long time. My father was in Congress when he was in the Senate. I was in the Congress when he was in the Senate. We traveled overseas, to Afghanistan, to Iraq, to parts of the Middle East together. And his son Bo and I were in college together at Penn. He was a year ahead of me. the guy he has always been is what he talked about, the guy that worked across the aisle. I think in fairness to him, since he's been in office, there's certainly been a loud roar from some in our country who don't believe he actually won the election. He's had a loud roar from a big part of members in my party, progressives, who he's really had a hard time dealing with. And I think at times some would argue that he's capitulated to them. But I would argue, if you look at what he's accomplished legislative, you can agree or disagree with it. But I think he has probably tried as hard as anyone to reach out across the aisle, particularly the last few presidents that we've had. Could it be more? Yes. I've been critical of him when he's been wrong. I try to call balls and strikes when we're together on the 5 and
Football analogy. Thank you.
Even when we're on Brett's show. And, when he gets it right, I try to say it. And when he gets it wrong, I try to say it. But I think to put all the blame on him, I think is a little unfair.
Well, okay,
That's true.
whoa. We're going to be editing all of that out. Stop it, you people. The Herald's great. Jamie, it's got to be hard for people to demonize you because no one knows you.
Yeah.
And you live in Alaska. And you probably just want any attention, even if it was negative. Correct?
Yeah. I'll take anything at all. Thank you for even coming to me.
Yes.
The king of
Hey, by the way, Greg, I saw an
self-deprecation.
awesome
Maybe.
article about your ratings last month.
Thank
And I
you.
want to say, very excited. I was so excited when I was reading it. I was half fascist. That was a big deal. You have to admit, though, the Biden speeches are, if nothing else, a source of a lot of entertainment.
That's true.
My favorite thing is to watch Biden supporters behind him, who during this speech, was last night or the other night, they were watching him like a child on a tightrope over the Grand Canyon. Just like, stay on the line. Stay on the line, buddy. And I don't know. Sometimes I do feel bad for him. They said that the hardest thing about Biden is whenever someone says F-15, he yells bingo.
Oh my God, they're so wrong for some of these jokes, but they're so funny.
Remember
They're
that
great
cancer
dead
scare he
jokes.
had? And that I heard when he was at the doctor's office, the doctor was like, good news, it's benign. And he was like, B9, bingo again.
Do you have a third bingo joke you'd like to share?
I don't have a third bingo joke, but I will say, what's in that bomb? C4? Bingo. Sorry, that is,
How long can you go with it?
that's kind of all I have. Is he doing another? They said he was doing another address tomorrow.
Right,
And I was
yeah.
like, I don't think he should do any more addresses. I'm not even sure he knows his own address. It's like, yeah, drop me off here. All I remember is it's a White House.
Brutal. You
Oh
are
my
so
God.
terrible, Jamie. Trace, you live in California.
I do.
So you're kind of like, you feel the consequences of certain policies that our politicians don't feel.
Right.
But you're also on the news side, so I don't want to ask you like your real opinion, but what is your real opinion?
Well, I have a different observation than Harold Ford, as you might imagine. I think Joe Biden, the truth is that he's actually de-escalating his rhetoric from the beginning of the year. Remember when he talks about an F-15 yesterday, at the beginning of the year in February, he said to fight the government, you need an F-15 and Hellfire missiles, right? And then by June, it was, you need an F-15
He also
and
said
nuclear
nuclear
weapons.
weapons.
Yesterday, it
He
was just
also
an
said
F-15.
nukes, right?
So we have come a long way, and it's not like these things are hard to get, Greg, right? You can get from the Taliban. You can rent an F-15 from the Taliban, compliments of America, for $100, and you just give them a waiver. So that's the kind of thing. As far as his other rhetoric, where he demonizes half the public, that's just to stop the argument. I mean, the left, and Harold would disagree with me, they don't want to argue that you're either a denier or you're a health threat or you're an extremist or something. There's no debate. And so what Joe Biden is doing is he villainizes half the people, and that shuts down the debate. There's no debate on that. That's the way it is. And
Scene.
done.
Scene. That's what phrase actors use. Thank you. Are they applauding me or Trace?
I don't know.
Oh, because if they're applauding Trace, they're gone. But if they're applauding me, they're awesome. Michelle, always great to see you. All I ask for is that, focus on the right issues and don't get mad at us for wanting to focus on the right issues. I feel like if we're concerned about crime, why are we then bad people?
Listen, it's all in how he frames it. I think this address that he's supposed to give is about how it's the soul of our country. Our rights are being taken away. And he's basing this on the whole Hobbes decision, right?
Yeah.
But he's right. Our rights are being taken away. We are losing our right to domestic tranquility because there's chaos at the border. We are losing our right to self-defense because they want to take guns away. We are losing our right to free speech and freedom of expression. We find out now that the FBI put some pressure on Facebook to mute a story about a presidential candidate. Girls are learning that they're losing their rights to Title IX to compete just against other girls because that category was supposed to be for them, but that's kind of being lost. So yeah, some of the rights are being lost. I'd like him to address that.
That's a very interesting
nice
point.
summary, actually.
Yeah. She's really smart. Her
Yeah, she's
career has
smart.
been great.
But
Yeah.
I gained the right to compete against girls. Finally, I might win a trophy.
Oh.
I think it's interesting that his primetime speech tomorrow night is at 9 p. Bingo again.
Trace, your dog.
Trace coming.
Good dad jokes.
Bingo.
There you go.
I would have thought prime time for Biden would be like 4 p.m. More of a Branson,
tell you this.
Missouri thing.
We talk a lot about him. And the name calling, I get it. It's politics. You gotta have your big boy pants on to deal with it. We called him senile. People called him a communist. They've called him a Marxist. They've questioned whether or not
Did you
he
see
won the
Tucker
election. And
today,
he goes right
Jack?
along with it. We've number of things have been said around this in good fun and good humor.
Yeah.
And Greg and I have a great
I
relationship
did.
as we do it.
Oh, we live
But-
together now.
But I didn't know if you wanted to tell everybody, but his poll numbers are going up. All the things you're saying, all the things everybody's saying, he's gone up from the high 30s to the mid 40s. He's about where President Trump was at some point in his administration. We now have 2.5 months till election day. Elections are won when you talk about the future, when you talk about how you want to make people's lives better. If all your plan is if you want to investigate things, you want to criticize people, you want to name call, guess what? You'll be able to do that from the minority. We're not going to get stronger if all we want to do is name call. If we have ideas, if you contest with ideas and thoughts, and to your point,
You
Tracy,
sound like a
willing to
Republican.
Well,
We got to move on because we're running out of time here. But I think the name calling is fine when it's directed at an individual in power. You shouldn't be name calling an entire group of people.
I don't disagree with that.
All right, good, because I was about to call you a big jerk. Up next, Trump's magazines and locker room talk. Panic the media around the clock.
Yeah, that story on Mayor Lamumba in Jackson, Mississippi, just blew me away. The fact that they don't have clean drinking water since he was, I guess, inaugurated is the wrong word, but since he became mayor of that town or city or whatever it is.
It's been a problem, man. Look at Flint, Michigan.
Yeah, look at Flint, Michigan, right?
Denver has had problems with lead in its water too.
Oh, wow. Holy shit.
It's actually kind of funny. There was a government program to dispense filters, and I have like 6 of them, and I swear to God, they're sending them to me way too fast. It says every 6 months, and they're sending one to me like once every 2 months.
So just swap them out every 6 months. Yep.
Classic government waste.
Over wastage. Yep.
Yeah, but I mean, Tucker's Open was basically the same as Greg's, was basically the same as the 5. The demonization rhetoric. I think it's really worth talking about the way that the Nazis got the screws turned on the Jews was just by using this type of hyper demonizing rhetoric,
demonizing and maligning them, particularly in the fact that they called them dirty and alluded to the fact that they were rats and carried disease, and that's how it worked.
I think there's a certain minority of the U.S. population that goes along with that. I think it's probably like 20 to 30%. But
well,
I don't...
to your point, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but to
No,
your
go for
point, and what was on Tucker was that guy, and I really want to see this interview by that professor or scientist who was talking about mass formation, saying that only 30% of the population needs to be indoctrinated or radicalized in order for a totalitarian government to rise to power. Sorry, continue.
Yeah,
so
and that's
right.
Yeah, and it's dangerous for sure for that exact reason. Of course, they say the same thing about the Trump coalition.
Yes.
The end result of this, though, I think, is that save a small minority. People really don't buy into this sort of rhetoric. Like I don't think there's too many independents out there who are thinking, oh yeah, these ultra MAGA people are just so dangerous. Like I can only see the worst sort of brainwashing victims actually going along with that rhetoric, the threat to democracy rhetoric or whatever.
At the risk of sounding like Tim Pool, are they suing for a civil war?
Yeah, right. Well, I was saying that earlier. The sort of the dark ones, whatever you want to call it, the evil globalist cabal, the deep state, the whatever, that there's so many groups, the multinational corporations, the Soros NGOs, like there's just so many. They would love to absolutely see in rhetoric get so inflamed that people felt they had to settle matters physically. Absolutely.
Yep.
That would be their wet dream. To destroy the United States from within that way.
Yeah,
a lot of people think, and it depends on what you believe, but if you research who was actually funding the South in the Civil War, it was actually a lot of kind of old world colonial interests, and it made some people, and I agree with this, but I'm trying to be as fair as possible, say that they had set up the Civil War to try to destroy America from within, and particularly, and this is interesting, force us back into the central bank system, the private Western central bank. Interestingly, that actually happened after the Civil War. So it seemed like if that was the plan, it might have worked. That was, of course, one of the central reasons we left Britain, was to get away from the Bank of England.
Sure.
Fun sort of history about that.
That's interesting.
I could see them trying again. Worked the first.
Hey, by the way, I appreciate your reply about China's economy to me in email. That was particularly enlightening. Thank you for that. I know. It was a long email and I read it all, so it was great.
No, it's okay. It's such a multifaceted issue. The Chinese economic collapse. You could seriously. You could speak or write for days about it because there's so much to it. There's so many layers. The Ponzi scheme goes way beyond the actual Ponzi scheme. Like the entire society is a Ponzi scheme.
So I sent you some newspaper clippings today. One in particular by Andrew Bolt in today's paper was about Albanese's coalition or discussion about jobs and skills and all of the people that he's got together.
Security fears
done before.
were
read
over
the article.
Trump's
good.
souvenirs.
Yeah.
They said it was the ultimate crime to keep a framed cover of Time. Yeah, the latest bombshells to come from the Mar-a-Lago documents reveal that Donald Trump is definitely, without a shadow of a doubt, Donald Trump. The DOJ filing released on Tuesday included a photo of documents seized, and it turns out Trump had a framed Time magazine cover of himself. If that's illegal, someone better raid Harold Ford's basement. Yeah. You think Harold hasn't framed a copy of this for his home? Yeah, I know I did. I have several of them above my bed and one in the bathroom. Anyway, get that back there. Anyway, that Time cover was from a 2019 issue detailing the Democratic primary race with all the challengers looking at Trump. Let's take a moment to be glad that wasn't a swimsuit issue.
It looks like a Mad magazine cover.
Is what any of us would do.
Where was Biden? There was no Biden in there.
Yeah. Jesus. In other words, we're back to where we've always been.
But it was odd, Jack, because it looks like a Mad magazine cover from the 70s.
They're more obsessed with him than Stormy Daniels ever was. The other bombshell to drop this week, that Trump loves to gossip. Apparently, he bragged he knew illicit details of French President Emmanuel Macron's love life, and that info came from intelligence he'd been
who his mistress was.
But who wouldn't gossip about that? After all, Macron's wife was his old high school teacher, who's 25 years older than him.
Damn.
So I guess she wasn't just banging the erasers. Trace, you've been covering the raid since it happened. What should be the media focus on?
I'm confused, Greg. Honestly, I'm confused. Are they looking for secret documents or sacred documents? Because every time Trump is on the cover of a magazine, to him, that's a sacred document. And you look at all those folders and you think, are they all filled with magazine covers?
Yes.
Because that's what it could be. Remember when Trump was accused of putting up phony Time magazine pictures in all his golf clubs around the country? And it turned out, it was kind of a big joke. They did that.
Yeah.
But the truth here is it's come down to this bizarre thing. 2 weeks ago, the Washington Post reports that what is in the secret documents are nuclear secrets, right? These are nuclear things, and they've kind of pulled away from that. And now it seems to be a battle over documents that Trump just won't give back. We don't know what's in there. He won't give them back, and the DOJ is pissed about that.
Yeah, I think, Michelle, my theory is some mover, Packer, threw all the crap into a box, mixed everything up, because that's what I would do. And it's like, and Trump's like, whatever, I'll get to it when I get to it. This is he's probably thinking this is such a boring conversation, like about documents. I don't really care. And then this happens.
Well, I was looking at this picture that's there, and I was zooming in and trying to really study it. And the one thing I noticed is that all those top secret things, they are paper clipped on. Do you see the paper clips? They're not stapled. Right. I would think stapling would be so much more efficient because, like, if you just paper clip them, the thing could come off. Yeah. By the way, those top secret cover pages, you can order them from the General Services Administration. So maybe they just ordered a bunch of them, took paper clips and put them on stuff that I don't know. I don't know if this is a bombshell or not. But yeah, all this stuff about the carpet and the Time magazine covers it. That's just nonsense.
It's true. To Trace's point, it went from nuclear code secrets to stunning detail. Right. Time magazine cover. By the way, I just want to show everybody that I was on a cover once. Anchors Daily. Yeah. Take that, Harold. You were never on Anchors magazine.
I gave that to you.
I know you did, among many other things. Jamie, don't know what that means. He's a very generous person. Terrible. What's wrong with me, Jamie? It would be interesting if somebody had an Intel file on your sex life, because it would probably just be a blank page. Ever since your divorce.
That's really true. I was actually on the cover of Anchorage magazine. It probably would be blank. Wasn't there one of the Time magazine covers that he saved? I actually respected this. Wasn't there one where they said some negative stuff about it?
Yeah.
And he saved it, which I think is like super cool. That he, I don't know. I sometimes get motivated by things that were a failure. Like I have my marriage certificate up in my office, and I'm having a name blank. Macron. Yeah, I feel like Trump saying he has inside information on Macron's sex life, and then I find out she's 25 years older than him. I feel like without a file, he probably cheated on her. I don't know like a ton about it, but it's pretty cool that Trump is on Time magazine. I just heard that next month Biden is going to be on Time's Up magazine.
Red meat, Harold. He just threw a big slab of red meat at you.
Look, he could also, be on the cover of those magazines saying that they won. I think, again, people got to get back to elections are won if you put forward great ideas. Now, on this Trump thing for one moment, if I packed up and someone told me to pack my things up and they packed them up for me and I realized that I had something with something, because the documents are not his, Trace. They belong to us. Hold for 1 sec. When you're president of the United States, and we'll say she one day, but he is a custodian of all these papers.
She, but keep going.
Well, you're a custodian.
A sexist might say.
You're a custodian of all those papers, not the owner. And even when you leave office, you don't get to possess them, but you do get access to them for purpose of writing a book and other things. But if you didn't know what was in the box and they told you, sir, there are things in the box that you should not have, need to be returned, I'd return them. I think most red-blooded, honest Americans would just return them because they're not his. Now, if this turns out to be
too busy.
He's
you get your stuff in a box. I would be really cool if they opened
He was in dialogue with the FBI to do just that.
Yeah. They've asked. I'm gonna leave it alone, but they've asked multiple times. It didn't turn it over, and you got to turn these things back. And it's not.
But the only equation we have is Hillary Clinton, right? You can do Hillary Clinton.
She was never president.
She was never president, but she had classified documents, and she was still a public official. And that's what they're saying is the presidential thing is out of it because he's out of office. And so now they're saying is Hillary Clinton had classified documents. So if you're going to deal equally, and I'm just a big due process guy. If you're going to give due process, you should have equal treatment. So the DOJ should at least have gotten an opinion from the DOJ lawyers.
All right. They did.
Why didn't Merrick Garland get an opinion from the DOJ lawyers?
You guys are going way into special report land. We got to move on. Up next, should conservatives consider it time to leave this planet behind?
If you have type 2 diabetes or high blood pressure,
they've changed the story so many times.
Chronic kidney disease. They're the top 2 causes of CKD. CKD usually starts with no.
The goalposts have moved so many times on this raid.
Yeah, it's. I'm confused.
I think Rob passed out because I had to do that.
All right, Rob's out.
That's cool.
Good on it.
I think you fell asleep.
Yeah, good on him.
Good job, Ohio.
Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, that, I mean, that idea that, like, basically what you said, basically, JT, that we're not gonna like step further down the road of just asking for stuff. We're gonna show up with SWAT teams and naval forces, maritime forces. That still
That's the
cracks
new
me
normal,
up.
right?
They had helicopters, but they also had a boat force that was like off the coast.
It's
The
as if he was going to
boat
flee the
force.
country. Yeah. They had a SEAL team boat.
Right,
boat
like
crew.
Trump is just gonna grab these documents and like run to the beach and then like jump and swim out to a little submarine that he has. He's gonna like jet off to the Bahamas or something.
Yeah, like Dr. Evil.
Dr. Evil, yeah, exactly.
It's absurd.
Trump as Dr. Evil.
That's absurd, dude.
I could see him doing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, Ghislaine Maxwell had her submarine pilot's license.
Oh,
Fun fact.
right.
Fun fact.
There you go. Fun fact. Wow.
Lots of ways to get to one of those islands. You don't have to fly.
She's befriended not a serial killer. She's befriended some bird in
Oh, good.
in prison that's
Glad to hear that. Glad she's making
abusive.
friends.
Yeah, she's making all the right friends.
Oh my God.
You're known by the company you keep, right?
So I feel like I've gone down this rabbit hole before, but the tail numbers of the planes that she was being moved around on sometimes to go to and from court and whatnot, as well as her prisoner identification number in the Department of Corrections records, both didn't necessarily match what the mainstream narrative was that was happening to her. Like the facility that she was housed at had a different code than the one that her prisoner identification number had. So there's a lot of questions about where she actually is.
Wow.
Which is interesting. Oh, you know, maybe she's at Gitmo, or who even knows? Anything's possible.
Or maybe she's in a private, comfortable house.
Yeah, right. Maybe she's
arrest.
not at jail at all. They gave Jeffrey Epstein house arrest. House arrest that he was actually able to leave for to go to work 5 days a week.
Correct.
So house arrest that's not even house arrest.
Yeah. He wasn't incarcerated by any stretch of the imagination.
Guy in chats points out that if you zoom in on that picture, it'll actually say that the documents had been declassified.
Oh, there you go. I was hoping somebody would do a zoom and
Well, so
study
yeah, and you have to sign on the bottom of the bottom of the folder. Yeah, I mean, you knew a bunch of it was already declassified. But the funny thing is, this example of the goalpost moving, they're now saying, oh, it doesn't matter if it was classified or not. The fact that he had it by itself is enough. So, like, they're just
indict him already, Jack. Indict him.
Yeah, I know, right? Well, and that's the one thing they're not going to do, and it's the one thing that they have to do if any of this is going to have any credibility whatsoever.
If their ultimate goal is to
this
stop
is all
Trump
a circle
running,
jerk.
This
This
is
is
a
a huge
circle
circle jerk.
It really is. It really is.
A circle of jerks. That's funny. Yeah, just another guy said people have been enhancing the photos and showing the declassification.
Actually, that's very meme-worthy. That picture, I didn't think.
God, it's just so cringe. You get so tired of it after a while because it's just all so stupid. It's just this it's like a children's magic show or something.
Yeah, right. Cars think it's time to move to Mars. Robo-human hybrid Elon Musk warned this week that the rapid global push for green energy will have disastrous consequences, perhaps even worse than my pre-workout bean burritos.
Oh, jeez.
That's what got me banned from the 30-minute abs class. Elon's warning comes on the heels of skyrocketing energy prices around the world. Between bites of a California condor sandwich, he told reporters, quote, realistically, I think he eats condors. That's the joke. Those are rare birds. He eats them. So this is what he said. I think we need to use oil and gas in the short term because otherwise civilization will crumble. Adding that properly switching to a sustainable energy economy will take decades, which is true, or the same amount of time it takes to charge a Tesla. He's not wrong. A global food crisis is coming, if not already here, accelerated by the war in Ukraine and its impact on supply shortages and grain prices. So it looks like the Biden doctrine is really paying dividends, Harold. I don't know why I said that. This felt like twisting the knife. Anyway, maybe it's time for smart people to leave Earth behind and start over on Mars. Liberals can keep ruining the blue planet. We'll head for the red one, the way people head for red states in a U-Haul that no one wants to return to California. Of course, it will take 9 months to get to Mars, and there will be limited food and water during the trip. But that's a piece of cake to anyone who takes Amtrak. Michelle.
Yes.
Did you know? So Mars has 38% the gravity of Earth. So the sports reporting would be epic.
Wow. I can't even imagine.
Isn't Elon Musk onto something, though?
Well, clearly. I mean, I'll tell you a little story, Greg.
Yes.
When I was growing up, well, you and I are of a similar generation.
Yes.
I remember they said, we got to stop using paper bags in the grocery store because we're ruining all the trees.
Yeah.
There will be no trees left on the planet. And so what do? They switched to plastic bags. And hasn't that worked out swell?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just sort of like this knee-jerk reaction. This is so bad. Got to make a change. Go to plastic bags. Well, plastic bags are so much worse.
Yeah. Look what it did to the plastic trees.
They're gone.
Right.
They're gone. They're gone.
You can't find a plastic tree anywhere.
No, you
anymore,
can't.
except in like a turtle's house.
The plastic Amazon forest is gone.
It's gone. The point being that some inventions and innovations are revolutionary, like the car. Okay. And then we evolve the car into an EV over time.
Yes.
This stuff has to evolve. We don't have the revolutionary answer yet.
Mm-hmm. Harold, are you worried?
Thank you so much.
About
I agree with Michelle. I think, first of all, it took us 40 years to go from coal to natural gas. These transitions don't take place overnight, to your point. And I think we have a group of people in politics today who enter politics on both sides who have really no sense of history, no sense of how the country came about, and for that matter, how we continue to evolve and grow. Democrats have to understand we cannot switch to which I think everyone would love, a cleaner economy, a cleaner energy economy. I don't think anyone's against that, but we can't get there overnight. We're posturally in a war in Europe,
right?
Because of energy. And I hear the folks in my party, some of them who are to the way left of me, say things. I hear people who to the way right of me. We've got to figure out how we get together in understanding history, in recognizing that we all want the same thing, but we're not going to get there if we die now trying to get there. We've got fossil fuels, cleaner products, natural gas. All of this is going to be a part of our energy platform for a long time, and it should be.
I can't wait till you run for president, and then they're going to have to say, "Do you know
that's
that
the most reasonable thing I've ever heard?"
Yeah, right.
Out of his mouth.
This is how he gets you.
Bingo. Right.
Bingo. Trace, serious question here. Will you be equally as handsome on Mars? Sure, that was the question.
Apparently, if you go to Mars, you end up looking a lot like Matt Damon.
Yeah, that's true.
I think it's interesting that comes out and he says, you know what we need? We need oil and we need gas. And at the same time, California comes out and says, okay, by 2035, everybody needs electric cars. Oh, but by the way, this weekend, if you could do us a favor and not charge your electric car, because we are out of electricity.
Amazing.
How in the world are you going to power 30 million electric cars in 2035 when you can't do 1.3 million today?
That's a great point, Jamie. I doubt you have anything as cogent as that. But I'm going to give you the last word anyway. Are you excited about going to Mars? Something tells me you might have a better chance with Mars women.
It's possible. I am not. I don't think it's going to work, man. Supposedly it takes. I flew here from Alaska. It was 20 hours flight. It was torture and it was miserable. To get to Mars, it's 7 months. Mm-hmm. Can you imagine being on a Mars flight and you hear a baby crying and you're like, well, they'll grow out of it. They'll grow up. I did hear, though, Southwest says if they end up going to Mars, they will give 2 bags of peanuts for the 7 months. And you know what I got thinking about on the way here? I was on a plane and I heard this person, not joking, this person in front of me started talking about the Mile High Club. Like, I wonder if people will want to be on like the whatever hundreds of thousands of miles club, like on a rocket. Right. And whenever I hear someone's like, oh, I want to be in the Mile High Club, I'm always like, wow, I just want to have sex in a bed. Do you know, I just want to be in the Mattress High Club.
Well, maybe this show will help. Who knows? Women love pathetic men. I love you, Jamie, for putting up with my. All right. Coming up, with the economy on the skids, millennials turn to raising strangers' kids.
So I just dropped a link in StreamYard. I watched it last night. It was a fascinating video about some aspects of astrophysics. But I know it's way off topic, but it was rather interesting. I'll drop it in chat too.
You know what I was realizing today? We've had like a bunch of solar storms. I don't know if the article has anything to do with that, but it's weird how many solar storms we're having.
No, it doesn't specifically talk about solar storms, but yes, solar storms have a huge impact on our climate.
Yeah, exactly. And did you know that the Earth is also spinning faster?
Yes, I've heard
and
that
it's
too.
like oscillating more
And it's
like
oscillating.
slightly more. Yep, slightly more on its orbit. That's so interesting. I really I really just wonder what happens, like, because we don't really understand electromagnetic energy from space that much.
Well, actually, this video is specifically about that, Jack. So once this program's finished, go watch it. It will it will actually terrify you what's out there. And just to the reason that prompted me to post that link was your comment about going to Mars. And like one of my passions is science and astrophysics. My opinion, and it is only my opinion, I do not think the human body, well, it's proved, the human body is not designed for space travel.
Yeah.
If there's to be an argument for transhumanism or some sort of enhancement to our physiology, it would be to enable us to travel in space.
Yeah.
But I do not believe we are equipped to do that.
And there's a big question about Mars. Like, frankly, it's a huge ethical dilemma because that's a one-way ticket. You know, anybody that's going up there is guaranteed to die up there without ever seeing Earth again.
That's right.
You know, there's a certain kind of person who would do that. And unfortunately, that kind of person is also like maybe a murderer, maybe some kind of sociopath.
Is probably not the kind of person you want going to Mars in the first place.
They'd have to screen people really carefully. You know, it'd have to be some dude
really
whose wife and kid died, or like, I don't know, that's fucked up, but there would have to be people like that were still fundamentally good people, but just had like no connection to humanity or something like that. Like high functioning autism, maybe, or something like that. That would be okay with that and still be like decent people.
I just want you to read the latest comment from Corey in chat.
What's up?
Read the latest comment from Corey in chat, please. Now, dude, Corey, I was speaking to you. If that's a legitimate cry for help, okay, jump into chat, we'll talk. But I've already said my piece, and perhaps you weren't in the show that I actually said it about the Shapiro comment, which I did take offense at. I don't know what happened between you and Jack's stance on the whole thing. He didn't tell me. I personally do not consort with two kinds of people, communists and anti-Semites. And I found your comment anti-Semitic. And I have yet to hear a valid explanation as to why you would say that, even in jest. So until you can come up with one, then the silence will continue, dude. I'm sorry.
Yeah, man, don't off yourself. Nothing is worth that. Least of all some weird petty tiff in an online chat room. But
exactly, dude.
These are just my thoughts. Yeah, man.
Perhaps it's a lesson in humility, Corey, for you.
Yeah, I mean, you can just say you're sorry, man. That's
all that takes, dude. And that's what a man does. They apologize if they fuck up. That's what a man does. Even if you think personally it's a misunderstanding, that's not how a lot of others saw it. So that's it. That's all I have to say.
JTK, just another guy asks, have you been keeping up with the advances in radiation shielding?
I have. Yeah.
Are they going to try to shield Australia from the hole in the ozone layer?
Well, the second line was they actually found a liquid radiation does not pass.
That's fucking cool, bro. Oh
yeah.
Make a smart choice.
Yeah, that's interesting, Jack. very.
The NFL.
Yeah,
shout out Guy, bro. I didn't hear about that. Guy, you're a cool dude.
Then Aaron Rodgers leads the pack. Touchdown against Kirk Cousins and the Vikings. The NFL is back September 11th on Fox.
Millennials get jobs as nannies instead of sitting on their fannies. The New
My
York Post,
cousin's
owned by
a
our
nanny
parent
right
company,
now.
Preparation H, reports more and more Ivy League graduates are choosing nanny jobs over
makes
lucrative
bank,
careers in
too.
finance. 1 year ago, the average New York nanny made $20 to $25 an hour, and now she's dead. Wow, I didn't expect to see that in the prompter. Anyway, kidding. They're now making $30 to $45, which by math
he
is
charges
more.
$50.
Would you agree?
Yeah. It's
Okay. They're earning six figures and getting health insurance, dental, vision, paid vacation, all the stuff I deny my staff. Because that means more for me, I say. More health care. Anyway, but it's a win-win for everyone. Families want qualified professionals with degrees, and educated millennials want more money, perks, and the opportunity to smack children for sports.
Oh.
Now, I don't have children that I care about, so I can't relate. But it seems odd that this story suggests you can only either be in finance or be a nanny. I mean, why don't you combine the two? You know, be a nanny who takes care of children, who also knows how to manage the finances of a household. I believe we used to call that a housewife.
A sexist would say.
Trace, what do you make of this? Is this one of those East Coast trends?
It makes me laugh because you think, wait a minute. So the deal here is the parents are going to pay you 50, 75, $100 an hour. The government is going to pay off your student loan, and Obama's going to pay your health care. Like, if I could be a live-in nanny or manny, I mean, you could skate free for many, many moons to come.
And Harold, do you have nannies?
No, I do not have nannies.
Good for you.
Trace is there's some truth to it. We talked while you were way on the five about these high tuition costs, and if you're gonna do what the president is doing here by waiving all of this stuff, you got 43 million Americans impacted by it. 20 million would have all their debt wiped out. It'd be great if we condition it for the things that we need. I mean, if we need more people to help raise kids, if we need more pilots, teachers, family doctors, engineers, plumbers, electricians. The second thing is we've made it as if everyone has to go to college. And that's the premise kind of what this thing he's done. I like this story because I hope it opens people's eyes and awakens people to the fact that there are alternatives to what people can do. There are ways you can make money. And if you make money by doing what you love best, you do something really well, which I'm glad you do, and I'm glad you get paid for it. We wouldn't have an opportunity to see you interview people and give us more insights into why we love sports. You do a great job what you do. You're the best at what you do. Congratulations with this show. And Trace, I don't know. Trace, nobody has to do breaking news like you at this network, but you do what you want to do, and you happily get paid for it. That's what we ought to be asking kids and encouraging kids to do at a young age.
You should be a politician. That's the fastest round of compliments I've ever seen from a living human being.
Crazy.
He's gonna be the next president. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, you can applaud. Jamie, I hesitated to come to you about a question that involved nannies, but was that the reason?
You just made me think of, remember that time, I don't want to bring it up. I was going to say, remember the Schwarzenegger thing, and when they figured out it was the nanny? Do you know they figured that out because she would lift up the couch and vacuum underneath it? Pay these women.
That makes no sense because the nanny was the one he slept with.
F is also not in the bingo card, Greg. I did that earlier.
Nor is P.
I'm sick of the truth.
Okay.
You know what though? For real, pay these women or men as much as they possibly could pay, because being a parent is like really, really hard, and there's challenges, but the rewards you get are that it's your kids. They kind of look like you. Maybe they take care of you when you're older. The nanny gets all the bad parts and none of the good parts.
Yeah.
And so pay them as much as you can, honestly, because, and like I babysat for a while, and I got the feeling they didn't like totally trust me. Like I remember I went into the little boys' room, and there was, it was like a nanny, not a bathroom, like a little boy's room, like the little boy's bedroom.
Yeah.
And they had a teddy bear on a tripod, which I think was a nanny cam. And there was a stuffed giraffe with a boom mic. But Aren't we lucky? I just think that because it's not your kids, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Pay as much as you can because it's not your kids. Because honestly, if babies and puppies were not cute, there would be no dogs or people.
No, that's true.
The way they behave.
That's true. That's true. Or we'd eat them.
Oh.
Michelle, something you said to me in the green room. Why do we eat babies and puppies? And I said, Michelle, that's disgusting.
Yeah.
Care to comment on that or anything?
I'm mortified still that I said that. It's interesting when I was coming out of college, you know, all the women then were like, we got to work in corporate America. We're going to be lawyers and doctors and da 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 da. And now I think this is really kind of cool. And I disagree with you. I think these young women get to go into these nice homes, drive the Mercedes around with the kids in the back, do all the fun stuff, and then at the end of the day, they go, "Okay, see ya. I gotta go."
Thanks,
and they don't have
Ohio.
to get married, and they can still have these kids. But I also think this might be a move, Greg, for families to keep their kids out of school and homeschool them.
Good
I
point.
do.
Yeah, there you go. That's a solution to everything.
Yes, homeschool.
Keep them off the
School
street.
choice.
All right. Up next, is it impolite to share nude photos in midair? Probably.
When pain says, I'm here, I say, so are they. I leave.
Teeth and do a diet. Go.
Pastor, are you not getting notifications?
Yeah, I didn't get no notification tonight, so I couldn't find you.
I've had a good streak of notifications. I think it's because I'm purposefully subscribed to very few YouTube channels. Like, honestly, other than Rob's, it's probably, and Rob's, of course, is 7 channels. I think it's probably like 10 or 15 channels. I really don't use YouTube that much. I'm a big Rumble guy these days. So I've really trimmed down my YouTube subscription.
Yeah, so have I. I go on Rumble quite a bit too, Jack. Yeah.
The algorithm knows what you like anyway. I don't even need subscriptions if I'm just like flipping around. Just
it's
finding
quite
random
accurate.
shit. Yeah, it always knows what I like. It's been following me.
Yeah. Exactly, dude. How are you, Pastor? You there?
Yeah, how you guys doing tonight?
Yeah, man, we haven't seen you in a couple days.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I come and go. I have a problem. I can't smoke too much weed. I have cyclic vomiting, and I have been sick for the last couple of days. It comes and
I'm sorry to
goes.
hear that, dude. I'm sorry to hear that.
Well, it's better than doing all the pills they had me on, so I'd rather be sick a couple of days a month than be on all that crap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For real.
I'll say a prayer for you, dude.
Yeah,
Thank you.
definitely. Sorry
I
to hear that,
appreciate
man.
it. Right back at you.
Thanks, dude.
So I
They
see
made
Greg's
this show-
finally back on.
Yeah, thank goodness. It's great news too, because with these guests, man, this would have been a boring show. Like, seriously, the interplay with Trace Gallagher, who like still thinks he's on the news and stuff, and Harold, of course, who's always just like doing Democrat talking points and whatever.
Trace Gallagher has a wicked sense of humor. He's
Yeah,
very
he is
sharp.
funny. It's always funny when he goes on Tucker, because then he's
right. Yeah,
he's always like able to do a little bit. So is Kevin Cork and a couple of their other like newscaster guys.
Yeah, he's really good at a quick quip at the end with Tucker.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, he's clever.
He sometimes does that on the other shows.
It sounds like I'm going to have to watch this stream from the beginning in the morning because it sounds like I missed a heck of a lot.
I mean, yeah, dude, it's almost over.
It's almost over.
It's funny. I feel like if you watch them enough, you can get a feel for who the like true believers are, sort of.
For sure. You definitely do get a feel for that. Sometimes it's not what they say, but what they don't say. Which is highly suggestive of their stance on certain topics.
You shouldn't have to choose between moments like this and putting nutritious food on the table. That's why we're always right down the street.
Yeah, it's incredibly hard to debate in text, by the way. You should jump in channel and have a chat.
Story in 5 words. Pilot fed up with
No
nudes.
way. Somebody was sending a pilot nudes.
We're gonna have to get security involved.
Oh,
No, they're airdropping to everyone around them.
Whatever that airdrop thing is,
Pilot found out about it.
yourself to Cabo.
Oh no.
So somebody
Oh, no.
airdropped a nude
He
photo,
threatened to
and
turn
I
the
guess
car
the
around.
pilot saw it. What the hell? Why does
That's
the pilot care?
trolling.
That's right. That's exactly
Or
what
it's
happened. The airdrop thing, it
nymphomania,
disrupts
one of
whatever
the
you're doing
two.
on your phone, and it
They were heading
takes
out
it
of
over.
the-
It really does. My kids do this to me all the time. Now with
Problem,
nude photos,
I
just joking
know,
around like with
whatever.
drawings and
It was
stuff.
more-
I would like to
well,
point out though,
probably
this
fun,
was Southwest
you know.
Airlines,
Uh,
right?
yeah.
With unassigned seats. We don't even know if this guy's the pilot or he just got on first. Put down your phone, right?
Yeah.
Shouldn't he also put down his phone?
Yeah. Why was Harold? What do you make of this? Has this ever happened to you? Airdrop invasions?
I don't even know how to airdrop, and I'm not taking pictures of myself on planes. So I don't know. I share your view. I don't know. I heard him go, the thing. I don't understand why he just didn't do his job. He's supposed to fly the plane. If he's finna tell people to stop, but if you're gonna tell people you're not gonna take them on their vacations, you really are gonna have a problem.
Yeah.
on the airplane.
My theory, Michelle, is that the person wasn't attractive.
Mm.
The person was attractive. No
was a
one
bad
would
pic?
complain.
Well,
Ugly, naked people. Ugly, naked people. People don't like to see ugly, naked people. I read that in the Bible.
He's right. It's in there.
Yeah.
Thou shalt not
Yep.
slay the
Damn it.
naked, ugly people.
that was in
Thou
the
shalt
Bible, not the Ten Commandments.
Remember, don't covet your friend's wife unless she's hot.
Yes.
That's the 11th commandment.
But so I found this a very mature reaction by the pilot, a very adult. Because if let's just say they hadn't taxied yet, or they were taxiing about to take off. So the airdrop your phone, you go zoo, and you go, what is that? And then suddenly there's like a nudie.
Yeah.
And what if it was not just a nudie, but like a
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if this person took it on the plane.
Right.
They weren't like sitting there going, oh, maybe they were. Maybe they were. I don't know.
That was the first.
But the point is, if that showed up on your phone as you were trying to focus on getting a plane in the air, I might turn the car around too.
I thought we couldn't top bingo. But we did.
Yes. So you never know where it goes, Trace.
Greg is so right though about it's not an attractive person, because if not, he would have been like, "Hey, we're not going to Cabo unless you send more photos."
But how times have changed, because this very same pilot 5 months ago threatened to turn the plane around and bring it back to the gate because the guy in C-23 bingo was nude, and if he didn't put his mask back on, he wanted to go back to the gate.
Was that true?
No, it's not true. It's a bingo joke.
You know what?
Wow.
I'm trying to get bingo.
I'm going back on vacation. I thought I'd be welcome here.
Oh my God.
No, that was funny. I thought it was real. Go away. We'll be right back.
This is
Man,
John.
I feel like that has to be somebody who's just like fucked in the head. Just like,
Yeah.
because first of all, they don't say if it was a man or a woman, which is interesting. I feel like that's just a dude spamming dick pics. It's just like a true evil fucker might.
So you think it was a guy, not a girl, huh?
Well, it might have also been a girl. That's what I was saying. It could have been a girl.
They're heading to Mexico on a resort destination.
Exactly, in like a
They're pretty sure alcohol was already involved.
A true.
I mean, it sounds like a sorority prank
burst
to me.
of promiscuity.
I agree, JTK. Yeah,
it would be nice. Yeah, that's hilarious.
Yeah, Corey, as Jack said, you got the SteamYard link there if you want to.
he's right there, guys.
Have you say? Come on.
What's up, Corey? All right. I mean, since we're doing this, let me just say from my perspective what I think happened. And this is a good way to discuss this. I can say what I thought happened. Corey can say what he thought happened. We can part ways. This is actually a conflict mitigation technique. So from my perspective, people were mad at Ben Shapiro at this podcasting thing. A couple of people in chat started saying like things about Shapiro, what we didn't like about him. I remember I said is that he was a never Trumper rhino. I see a comment from Corey that says the problem with Shapiro is that he's Jewish. No context offered, nothing else said other than that. I immediately responded, fuck you, because I have Jewish people in my family, and that's genuinely how I feel. I've also seen some
And why?
on this before. I've seen
Jack's
people,
got the floor. Jack's got the floor.
I'm not going to interrupt you,
Can I
Corey.
talk?
You're not going to interrupt me. Where the way that I remember seeing comments like that before kind of set me off. So, it was not cool, man. After that, shit went back and forth for a little bit. We were talking about it for a while. After a while, you said it was a joke. Now, I don't find that to be a valid defense to just say that someone deserves ridicule.
It was a joke against a college kid.
That was a
You
joke.
misunderstood me, bud.
We're not going to interrupt each other, Corey. I'm not going to interrupt you. You got the floor after
Against
me.
the college
Have
kid.
a nice long talk. The misunderstanding that you then went on to cite was not said at all. We talked the rest of that show, and you never said anything about saying that you thought it was the college kids. By the way, there were no college kids. It was people at a podcasting convention. So I don't know where you're getting that. You then said it was because the college kids must have thought that Ben Shapiro Jewish was a problem. If that was true, you made no effort to make that clear. Your context was completely missing from your original statement. It's also a little suspicious to me that you happen to only think of that way later, days later. In the moment, all you said was a joke. And I'll clear the air here. When you said it was a joke, I said, Corey's a pedo. Ha, 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 that was a joke. Pointing out how stupid it is to say something offensive and then immediately when you get called out, say, oh, it was only a joke. That was why I did that. I've apologized for that. That might have been over the line. Why don't you talk now, Corey? Tell me your side of the story.
What about
and saying it was a joke
Am
to
I
point
allowed
out how
to talk
stupid-
now, Jack?
Yeah, absolutely. So that's
Your
it.
connection's really
It was
bad,
a
by the
joke
way.
against the college kids, buddy.
There
and
were
you
no
called
college
me
kids,
a
Corey.
pedo and said "fuck you" on several different occasions.
And I'll say it again.
There were college kids. You didn't watch Ben Shapiro like JTK and I did.
I did watch it.
You attacked me abruptly, and you didn't listen to what I had to say. You said
never
I
explained-
didn't have the balls to get on here,
Attention foodies.
and
With this
you wanted
season
to
of prime
attack
rib
me
steak,
and
melted
try to make
provolone,
me
and
feel
other
like a
magic
piece
and
of
nuts
shit
Arby's
in
is
front
now
of
officially
everybody,
a fusion
buddy.
restaurant.
You made
Chef
a racist
Luke's
joke, dude.
Arby's. We have the meat.
You made a racist joke.
It wasn't a racist
You
joke.
didn't explain
They
that
have
until days
problems
later.
with Jewish people in the